Okay, guys, I'm going to try to take you through the onboarding process with Guesty and Airbnb for a new listing. I just did this morning, so I'm trying to recall, so it might not be so succinct, but let me just get started. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you publish in VRBO and you publish your listing in Airbnb after you've created it. So once it's published, then you would go into menu and you would go into listing and you would go to add new listing. Nope. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of that going back and forth. I'm still kind of playing around with this. Actually, you're going to go to menu and then to Airbnb, connect new Airbnb account. And it's going to go ahead and connect. Hit connect. Said I couldn't find a listing, and it's probably because all of our listings are already synced with Guesty. But if you had a new listing that you just published that's not in Guesty right away, you would have it come up and you'll see that listing come up. And then it'll give you an option then of adding that listing to Guesty, and that's what you would want to do. So right now, see, we couldn't find listings on Airbnb. It's all because all of our listings are already added. So if you did have a listing, you would add it. That's how you would do it. So the first step is to go into Airbnb, connect a new Airbnb account, log into your Airbnb account, and then add that listing. And what we've been doing is for the short-term rentals that we've been managing, all of the accounts go under our master Airbnb account. We're not going to put it under the or the property manager's account. It's going to go under our master one, which has all of our listings in it. I think it would be more simple to do it that way. So that's the way we are going to do it. Once you've connected it, and you'll see that it's connected. The next step is, I don't really know what the extended Airbnb account is, but it looks like both Jenny and Melissa have connected to the extended. So it might not be a bad idea to connect to the extended. And in order to do that, you would just find your profile in here. If you're new, then we would have to add you. And I'll have to figure out how we would add you. But we would connect by, like, if it was Mandy's, let's say Joshua, here's Joshua, you would hit connect, and then Joshua then would log in with his Airbnb account information, the one that he's using for the property, and then link to Airbnb account. And I think then you just kind of follow the prompts and it'll connect you to the extended connection. Again, I don't really know what that's used for, and it seems like we've been doing okay without connecting to the extended, because as you can see, 2 of our guest coordinators are connected and 2 of our guest coordinators are not connected. And we haven't had any issues come up with that. So I'm not sure how, it doesn't seem like that's a very big deal. So that's the first step, is connecting. And then the second step is you would go into, when you go into your published, just for Airbnb, because the VRBO doesn't have this option, but Airbnb will allow you to have the option to have a primary host. So if you go to your listings and then click on the listing that you just added, and then go to co-host under this tab, then you can invite, because I think it was just under my name, and Mandy wasn't there yet, but you can invite a co-host, and you invite the co-host by adding either their phone number or their email address. If it's a phone number, it's going to text them and they'll do it on their phone. If it's an email address, it'll go to their email and they can do it on their laptop or desktop. And then you hit next and you just follow the prompts through to invite the co-host. Then you'll submit it. The co-host will then receive either a text message with a link to accept the invitation, or it'll be a link on their email to accept the invitation. Once they've accepted the invitation, they're going to pop up here. You'd have to like refresh your screen and you'll see them pop up. They won't be primary host yet. It'll still say primary host under the listing owner, but you'll be able to give them the permissions as well. Like you'd want them to have full access, or they can only have calendar access, or whatever permissions that you want your host to have. All of our hosts have full access permission, and then you can then set them as the host. And that's what you want to do. You want to set that guest coordinator, property manager as the primary host. And now you see them as a primary host. And once you go back to Guesty, then you would go into, I think it would be listing. And once you've connected or added that listing to Airbnb in that first step, you should see the listing listed here. And it might be kind of lumped in under one of the existing listings, because here what we did was we created a group for each of our properties and named it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This allows us on the calendar view to see them in that order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down the page. And then you can, so each of our properties has their own group. This is a group. This color coordination right here. This is a group. So what you have to do is you would have to add a new group. You can select, you can up here, you can put the group name, test, and then you can select, you know, any color, a color that's not used, obviously, so that we can tell them apart. And then you can save it, and you see that I've created a group. Then after the group, you can actually click on the listing. And right here under listings group, you can move it to the group that you want it to be under. So obviously we don't want to move it to test 1, 2, 3, because that was just the test one that I created, but we want it to stay under its own. And the naming convention I use is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dash the address, because that way when our cleaner looks at it, or when another vendor that has access into our calendar looks at it, they will see the address, because they will not, if you write down, before I think we had it named as their nickname, like Great Pyrenees, Kathy Campbell, JCF Farms, and Berkshire, and that meant nothing to our vendors. It's much more informative for them to see the address than it is to see the nickname. So we changed it to the address. So that's important to note, is that you want to name it with the address, so that it's helpful for our vendors when they see that. Now I'm going to go back. So once you've created the group, then you move your new listing into that group, then it's going to be under its own group. And here, I'm just going to delete this group here, because I just created it as a test. So we have Old Stage, Pino, Compton, Quail, and we have 609 West 17th Street. And when you look at this, you'll see the channels as well. Initially, you'll only see Airbnb, because you would have only linked it to Airbnb, but then you would go to, in order to link it to Vrbo. So once you've done this step, you have the group, you have your listing that's in the right group. Then you're going to go back to menu. You're going to go to VRBO. You're going to go to accounts, and this will already be connected. What you're going to want to do is you're going to hit match listing, and it's going to show you the listing that wasn't matched with any other listing is what's going to come up, which is a step that we already did. So here, this is the newest listing, the Lone Star Bungalow. It wouldn't have been matched with anything yet, and you would have to match it. So you would click on it, and then you would match the listing. So you just have to take my word for it, because I can't show you the steps since we already did it. but you'll want to match the listing. Once you match the listing, it will say valid iCal link found or iCal link found or whatever it is. It will have this little green thing. You want it to say valid iCal link found. So that's how you would add it to VRBO. Once it's added to VRBO, you'll see here it says 5 listings are matched, 5 listings are connected with iCal, and that's what you want. You want all of your listings connected with iCal and all of your listings matched. In order to connect it to iCal, I think what you would do is you would go, I don't think you need to connect Airbnb to iCal because it works directly with Airbnb, but for VRBO, you do need to connect it to iCal. So let me go back to menu and go to my listings and click on a listing here. And then scroll down and look, and I should see, once you set Mandy as the, or set your primary, you'll see here, it won't come up automatically. You would have to hit the refresh host list, and then you'll see your primary host come up. And then you want to make sure that you star the primary host. And again, she's not connected through extended connection account, so we can maybe work on that later. But again, I'm not really sure the significance of this at this point because we have not been for final either, and we haven't run into any problems. But if you keep scrolling down under VRBO, you'll see here iCal link copy. So this is the I think this is VRBO's link. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to add the iCal link from Guesty to VRBO and then copy the VRBO iCal link and paste it into Guesty. You have to share the iCal link between Guesty and VRBO. And in order to do that, you will, what I'm going to do is just to show you, I'm going to delete the iCal link right now. So there's no, right now, there's no, where do we go here? Airbnb. Oh, shoot, what did I do? Okay. If I click on Export iCal under Other Actions, I'm going to copy this link. And I'm going to go back to menu, to VRBO, to accounts. Okay, see what happened was when I deleted the iCal link, it deleted that listing from my verbal connection. So I would have to, again, let me show you that again. Menu, then under Channel Manager, go to VRBO, go to Account, and we're going to go to Mass Listings. And you're going to see here that all of these other ones have a valid iCal link found, but this one just says match the listing. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to select the historic Georgetown Hideaway. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to select no iCal link. So no iCal link found. Here's where I would paste the VRBO iCal link. Now I'm going to go to VRBO. Under Calendar, I have my listing that I want selected. Under Calendar, I'm going to go to Import and Export, and I'm going to export the calendar. So click on that, and I want to make sure that this box is not checked because I don't want any tentative bookings to show up as blocked. If someone's potentially looking at my property, but they haven't actually confirmed their booking, then I don't want VRBO to block it for other people. Because it's like the first person that books gets it. We're not reserving it for anyone. So we want to make sure that's not text. And I'm going to go here and copy URL in my verbal. Now I'm going to go to Guesty and I'm going to paste it here, and it's going to save it to Guesty. Takes about a minute. So it looks like you need to import an iCal link. So here iCal link has been added. Now I'm going to match my listing. And then I get this message, I've successfully matched one verbal listing to Guesty. I'm going to say okay. Now I see 5 listings are matched, 5 listings are connected with iCal. Now I'm going to go back to menu and I'm going to go back to my listing and I'm going to select historic Georgetown and scroll down, and I see here that it's connected and / extended. That's what we want to see, connected / extended. And here I'm going to now go and grab the iCal link from Guesty, where I scroll all the way down on my listing. Okay, this is the listing. I'm going to scroll all the way down under other actions. I'll see export iCal. Click on that. Then I'm going to copy the link. Then I'm going to move back over to VRBO and I'm going to hit export, import, export. And this time I'm going to hit manage imported calendars. This one we added before. So I'm going to go to import a calendar, and this one says copy and paste the unique URL. So that's what I'm going to do. I copied it from Guesty and I'm pasting that iCal link here. And then I choose how calendar events import. Blocking bookings and all day events from external calendars will show up as blocked. That's what we want. Don't block. So we definitely want to block it because we don't want to get a double booking. So make sure that you select block. Then you're going to hit next, and then you're going to choose the color. You can name your imported. So we're going to name it Guesty, and you can choose the color that you want. So we're going to choose orange, and we're going to select import, and then we see it here. So anytime Guesty gets there's a booking from Airbnb that is in Guesty, it's going to shoot it over here, and you'll see it blocked off in orange. I hope that made sense. Now we're going to go back to Guesty, and the RBO is connected. That's that. So we've connected the RBO, we've connected Airbnb to Guesty. So the two are now integrated. Now we want to go back to menu, and we want to go to no, it's listing. Go back to menu, go to my listing, select your listing, and here it says Airbnb. You want to edit listing. The default is going to be everything. For sync status here, under sync status, this is like how this is like the permission to, they want to know how you want to manage your Guesty and Airbnb connection. Do you want Guesty to manage everything, or do you want Guesty to just be responsible for pricing and availability? And from experience, we find that just having Guesty manage pricing and availability is the best for us. We don't want Guesty to manage everything, because I think we ran into some issues with updating descriptions and such on Airbnb when we did that. So we want to select pricing and availability, which means for pricing information and availability information, that's going to be managed through Guesty. If you need to change your description, you need to update your description, you need to update photos, you need to update any other amenities or whatever, Everything else is done through your Airbnb portal. But only the pricing and availability is done through Guesty. So now, and you'll see here, this is pricing, I should say pricing and availability under sync status. Then you can select on pricing and you can go through and you can set up your settings under here. What we did was we added a fee, a cleaning fee. We added a security deposit. Make sure the currency is correct. And then under tax collection, we need to make sure that we have Airbnb collect the tax that they are not currently collecting automatically for us remitting. So if you read here, it says Airbnb automatically collects certain taxes and remits them. Hosts who would like to assume the responsibility of remitting taxes can opt out of Airbnb's automatic tax collection and remittance by adding their own custom taxes instead. So Airbnb automatically collects certain taxes from guests for each booking and remits them directly to local tax authorities. Review the amount collected by Airbnb for your listing before adding taxes to your listing. So I think you need to probably work with Airbnb if you want to collect all of it, but why would you want to do that? If they're going to collect some of it, let them collect whatever they're going to collect. They'll remit it for you. And then whatever they don't collect, that's what you would be responsible for. So in this case, we found out that Airbnb will collect the state tax. Usually there's two types of taxes. There will be either state hotel, kind of state occupancy lodging tax is a certain percentage. And then there's going to be either a city or a county hotel tax in addition to the state tax. So two taxes. In the case of Texas, Airbnb, or this new Georgetown listing, Airbnb collects the state tax and remits it to Texas, but we have to collect the city tax, the Georgetown city tax, and then we will then remit that on a monthly basis to the Texas tax department or Georgetown tax department for all of our bookings. But Airbnb said, I'll help you out, and you can add the new tax, add the tax here, and they will automatically collect it for us. And then it'll go into our payouts, but then we would use it to remit taxes on our own. So hopefully that made sense. Here is where you would add that tax. And as you can see, we already added it. It's a hotel tax. The type of charge, it's always usually percentage based per booking. And whatever the percentage is, in this case, it's 7%. And then they are asking for an ID tax. That would be your EIN number or Social Security if it's a personal, you don't have a business account. Accommodations tax registration. I really don't know what that is, so I just added the EIN number again. And then long-term stay exemption, you do want to create this rule. So that's where I said 27 to say 29. This rule is any stays that are over 29 days will be exempted from paying taxes. And that is, so you've got to do some research on your own and you got to figure out what the rule is. It's usually around 29 or 30 days. Most of your bookings will not have this exemption because usually it's just a weekend booking or a weekly booking, but sometimes you have long-term stays if you want to accept them, and they will not be responsible for paying taxes if they stay longer than 29 days for Texas. I think it's different for each state, so you've got to do your own research. The long-term stay exemption in number of days, this is where you would put down if it's 29 days, long-term stay exemption. So for minimum value is 13. So if they stay, maybe I do 30 because it's 29 or less, they have to pay taxes. 30 days or more, they don't have to pay taxes. So long-term stay exemption, I'm going to say 30 days. If they stay 30 days, at least 30 days, they're not going to have to pay taxes. update my pricing, they're going to want you to click, I confirm this tax amount is correct. And I will pay this tax once remitted to me by Airbnb. So it's just kind of like a, I promise to pay. I'm not just collecting taxes so I can add money into my pocket from the guest. I am going to be using this for taxes. So you're going to click on that. Now that you've set that up, you are good to go. We're going to go back and then we're going to look at availability. So under availability here, you just kind of read through and see what makes sense to you and put in your own custom options here. So advance notice, at least 1 day. We do want them to give us like one day heads up at least that they're going to be booking, but we will allow our guests to send reservation requests without advance notice. Not really sure what that means quite, but we have it checked on all of our other ones. Preparation time, we say none, because we like to have the cleaners go in and clean the properties and have it ready to go, so that if we get like a last minute booking, then we'll be okay. Availability window, we usually like to set that at 12 months in advance, and that gives us time it allows the guests to book 12 months in advance. We don't really want them to book further than 12 months just because most people won't anyway. So I think a year in advance is plenty of time. And that gives us time to also make sure our pricing is correct for like different holidays. We want to increase the price during the holiday season. So minimum length of stay, we usually have that set at 2. Sometimes we put 3. But if you want to, allow them to stay for just 1 night, you can set that as 1. Minimum length of stay by day. This is kind of customizing it. Like if they stay, I don't know, we don't use that option, so just leave that alone. Maximum length of stay is, I don't know, it's set default at 365. That's fine if they want to, I guess, request to stay there for a year. Then we can take that on a one-on-one basis, but I just leave it at the default here. And then the days that the guests can check in, if there are any days that you don't want them to check in, then you would uncheck it. But the default is that they can check in and check out all days of the week. And that is set. One thing I forgot to mention under pricing is like under, so here is the base price here. That's kind of like that's the price that all your days are set. And then if you have a weekend pricing rate that's higher than your base price, then you would put that under weekend pricing. And then the discounts, you can set a discount for a weekly discount, which is like 7 days. You can give them, if they stay for 7 nights, you can give them 10%. If they, a monthly discount, if they stay for the whole month, you can give them another discount. And then here you can set any kind of customized length of stay. But Edward likes to use Airbnb's, he like creates custom rules for different night stay and then discounts that correlate with those rules. And he does that all through Airbnb and not through Guesty. So he's really good at that, and can touch base with him if you want to learn more about that. But we usually don't set anything here in Guesty. We just have it as not set. Under standard fees, this is like extra guest price. So for each guest that's over them, whatever, for our other properties, we usually have like that for each guest that's over the maximum allowed number. It will be like for our final property, it's 14 guests that the county kind of like puts a limit on how many guests that they would allow for the number of bedrooms that you have. This is kind of a new rule for them. But so what we have, how we set it up is, okay, we're allowed 14 guests based on the county rules, but we do have room for like really 19 people. So if anyone has like a party of like 16 people and they ask us, hey, I have 16 people, I'd like to stay at your place, is that all right? We do have room for them. County rule says we can only do 14, but what we end up doing is we end up saying, okay, sure, we do have that space that they can stay, and it's still okay for the house and it's still comfortable for everyone. So why don't we, at anything beyond 14, then there's going to be an extra guest price of a certain amount of money. So for each guest over 14, we're going to charge them like $50 a night or something like that. And that's all written in our rental agreement as well, so that it's in there and transparent to the guests, they know. But in this case, Mandy says it would be really, really hard to squeeze more than 8 people into this house. It would be really crowded and uncomfortable, and the owners probably wouldn't like that. So there's not going to be an extra guest price because there's not going to be any more than 8. Like, they're just not going to allow it. Under other standard fees, this is where you would add, like I said, your cleaning fee, your security deposit, but you would also add your pet fee here if you allow pets and you have a pet fee. You can also add a linen fee. You can also add other fees. So that's that. And then I already talked about taxes. So now I'm going to go back, and then you've got your Airbnb set up. You've got your VRBO set up. Under messaging, Guesty has this neat function where when a guest inquires for the first time, Airbnb keeps track of how quick you respond, and you get rewarded if you respond quickly, and you get not rewarded if you take forever to respond. So under here, auto inquiry response, we're going to click on that, and we have this auto inquiry message that we created. This is the message that goes out to all of our guests who inquire in a property. So immediately when Airbnb gets an inquiry about our property, or we get an inquiry about our property, immediately, we have it sent here, immediately this automated message gets sent out to our Airbnb guests, so that it shows that we're really responsive. Now, this doesn't happen for VRBO, so you have to manually do that. So VRBO, you also get rewarded for having, quick response rate. So if you have an inquiry from VRBO, then you have to go in there and you have to manually send the message. And we do have it saved on our template, so it's really easy to go in quickly and send the message using our template. So that's what you would do. But here, we want to make sure that auto-responding Airbnb host, that we have everyone. So I think we're good to go, because Mandy created a listing, but she's not a new guest coordinator or property manager. She's already in here. So any inquiries into any of her properties will any inquiries into her property will get automatically sent an inquiry. And even though I deleted these people, they're still there. So any case, we're good to go here. And that really should be it for the setup with Guesty. But now we want to set up the website. So we go to website builder. Under menu, you go to website builder, and you're going to do edit website, because we already created this website here at Mars Hill Vacation Rentals. And click on that, and you're going to click on listing and details. And under add and remove listings, this is where you're going to click on to add your listing. But I had already added Mandy's listing earlier and then forgot to do this training. So it's already added here, but before it wasn't. There was only 4 here. And here I clicked on add and removed, and then hers was, this one was unclicked. So what I did was I just selected all and then save. And it automatically added her listing to our thing. So then now when we go to the website, Mars MarsHillPoconos.com, we should see it show up, and we do. Here it is, historic, because before it wasn't showing. But here's one, this. So we have all of these properties here that will show up on our direct booking website for them to click on and get information about this. Okay, so in here, you also, so you've added it. If you change any of your description in Airbnb, or if you change any of your photos in Airbnb, then you want to click on it and you want to come down here to select content to refresh. And I usually just go ahead and select all of it, because I don't, we want to update all of these. Any changes to any of these on Airbnb the step needs to be done so that it translates into the direct booking site, and those changes will be reflected on the listing on the direct booking site. So you want to definitely do that, and then refresh. Click on that, click on all, click on refresh, and then that automatically pushes all of those updates to your direct booking listing. So here under direct booking, we have an option. We only use Stripe accounts. So that's what we're going to use to collect our rental money from them. And then custom taxes, we do want to set some custom taxes here, because if it's a direct booking, then we are responsible to collect both taxes. Remember that when they book through Airbnb or VRBO, they will collect the state tax for us, and then they will remit the state tax to that state automatically for us. But when we do direct booking, we have to collect both the tax, the state tax and the city tax, and then we have to set it up. This is where we set it up as. So here's the name of, oh man, I thought I had, let's see here. Lodging tax here. STR properties located within the city limits are subject to 7% local hotel occupancy taxes and state hotel occupancy taxes. So I'm going to name it state hotel occupancy tax. And the tax type is going to be a percentage per booking. And the tax amount is going to be 7%. Do we want to exclude cleaning fee? I think we would exclude cleaning fee, because I don't think the cleaning fee should be taxed. It's just the accommodation fee that's taxed. So we will exclude cleaning fee. And then we do want to create an exemption rule for long-term stays. And this again is if they stay beyond 29 days, then we will not charge them tax. So exempt for stays longer than 29 days. Any stays that are 29 and less get taxed. Any stays that are greater than 29 days, so 30 days or more, does not get taxed. So we're good with this. Now I'm going to add a new tax, because remember we had two types of tax, and this one was called the local hotel occupancy tax. So I'm going to call it the Georgetown hotel occupancy tax. And again, this tax is a percentage per booking. The amount is 7%. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I need to update this. This amount was 6%. So it's 6% for the state tax, 7% for the local Georgetown hotel occupancy tax. And we don't want to tax our cleaning fee, and we do want to create an exemption. And again, this is going to be 29 days because I think it's the same thing. Longer than 29 days. Okay. And now we have our listing details. City of Georgetown, starting from 300. Person capacity is 8, bedrooms 3. It kind of like copied all of this information from Airbnb. So you just want to look through it and review it and make sure that it is correct. Here are the amenities listing, description. You can add more, I guess, information here for the space. You can add guest access information. You can add, here's what it tells you to write about. So tell guests if you'll be available to offer help throughout their stay. Let guests know if there are any details that will impact their stay. Getting around, you can add all of these things. There are house rules that you can add if you'd like. And then after you add them, you save it. Pages. We have our booking information page, our rental agreement and house rules, our house tours. So what we would do is we would need to go to edit. And here I have, see here for the Great Pyrenees 3D walkthrough tour. Here's the website for that. Khaki Campbell 3D walkthrough tour. Here's that one, Berkshire walking tour, walkthrough tour link. No, if this is, and so what we would want to do is if when we get a 3D walking tour, we would add a section for Georgetown, and then we can update it. So these are sort of like the tabs. Where is it? You see these tabs up here: listing, booking, house tours. So this is what it looks like. Great Pyrenees here. If I click on this, it's going to take me to the Great Pyrenees walking tour. Okay. And then I can actually like just kind of walk through the house. And click on these parts and it shows you the house. So that's kind of like, we'll have to create one. When we do have a walking tour, we'll have to create one here, Berkshire, or link coming soon. So I guess we can add one here. Actually, we probably do have one, but I haven't updated it yet. And I'm not really sure if we want to do the walkthrough tour. We might, this probably needs to be updated. But these tab links here are what we're creating when we're in the looking through this. So these pages here are what we create, and this is what it looks like in these areas for these houses. So it's really just the booking information is going to be the same for all of our houses. The rental agreement is something that we're going to have to update and add for the new listing. House tours is something we need to add for the new listings. Local attractions, like activities in the Poconos, we might want to update. Food in the Poconos, we only have the Poconos because those were the 3 original. We don't have anything for Compton and Centerville. We don't have anything for Texas yet. But if you wanted to add local attractions, you could certainly add activities in Centerville or activities, in Georgetown on here. That gives you the option of adding that. And then real estate investment, there's nothing you need to do here. Guest reviews, and this is kind of a manual process where if a guest leaves us a nice review, we can copy and paste it in here so that we can show them, let them read about our guest reviews. And then about us, it's just, here's a little bit about us, and it's a message. And that's it. That's where you'll find the pages on the website. And if you want to add another page, you could add another page, but these are the pages that we those are the pages that we selected. So back to this here, back to the home page, you have pages, listing and details. We went over rates and payments. Rates and payments here, we accept online payments via Stripe. Accept email inquiries, we don't want to do PayPal. We don't want to do email inquiries. We work through Stripe. That's our transaction accounts that we use. And then you don't have to do anything on this page here. Basically, how it's set up is for prepayment, 60% of the accommodation fee will be charged on the reservation date when they book, and then the rest will be charged 10 days before they check in. The taxes here, I think this is kind of the default, but if you don't use this default, then you can customize it. You can customize it on your listing like I showed you before. So there's nothing you need to do for rates and payments. You can leave that as is. Visual settings, I don't really know what this is, so we don't really use that. You can skip that. And then these are the promotion codes here. So promotional codes, we have all of them listed here. So this is where you would find your promotional for repeat within 30 days, repeat, final discount, friends and family, non-peak, friends and family, non-peak weekend, friends and family weekend, all of these. Repeat guests, here's repeat guests, here's the coupon code. You can copy it and then you can send it to your guest and say, here, use this code when you're booking directly so that you can get that 5% repeat discount on your booking. So I think that's it. We don't use any of the other stuff. So it's just pages, listings, and promotional codes that you'll be interested in looking at. You don't have to update anything in promotional codes, but it's just really pages and listings that we'll be doing updates for new listings on. And that, I think, is it for integrating into Guesty. The other component is our auto messaging, our templates. We have specific automated emails that go out to for each of our properties at specific times, like after the guest checks in, they'll get an auto email 2 weeks before their check-in, they get an automated email 3 days before check-in, they get an email. The day of, they get access code automatically sent to them, reservations. So you just need to copy and paste all of these templates and create it for your own listing. And then for cleaning, you can set up cleaning reminders for your cleaners, and you can create, you can send them a link to the calendar for your property, and that what they would see is they would see what bookings you have so that they can prepare and schedule their cleanings appropriately. You can also set up reminders for them. Like here, I have on the day of confirmed reservation. So when you get when you get a confirmed booking by email and by text, it's going to send our cleaner for this listing here. She's our cleaner. It's going to text her, it's going to email her, hey, we have a new booking on for such and such date, so that you can then put it in her calendar and be ready to have the house clean by then. So, and then here is our cleaner for the Poconos. This is our cleaner for Centerville. And then Mandy, you would then set up a cleaning reminder for your cleaners in Georgetown. So a lot of neat functions to use. And then of course the calendar, you know how to use that, but that's basically the setup for Guesty for your listing, your new listing. All right. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but if I did, I will create another training video, but hopefully this was informative and helpful. So that's it for me. Until next time, bye.